Hello everyone, I'm back for a quick video. So I've been working on the fender flare. It has taken so much longer than I thought it would, but what I did was I took the C2 fender flare and put it on the C6 to C2 fender. And there were differences in the curves and a bunch of different things. I didn't like the opening. So what I had to do was make multiple versions of the C2 fender flare and then section them together to get it like I want it. Well, now that it's like I want it, the problem is it's a bunch of separate sections. So I need to tie them together. Ideally, it would be great if I could get to the back side and then tie everything together from the back side, but I can't. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to put a single layer of carbon fiber over the whole thing to tie it together, let that cure, and then we're going to remove it and reinforce it from the back side. And so that'll fill in all these gaps. So obviously the carbon fiber will be on top, but this little gap here and here and here will still be there. We could try to fill them in, but honestly, as long as we get a nice layer on the outside, then we can fill everything in from the backside much easier. Now, one of the challenges that I ran into was I got this inside curve of the fender opening exactly like I wanted it, but then this did not line up. The seam did not line up because, again, it's slightly different between the two. So what I had to do was cut this area completely out and then put this silver tape in there to give us something to lay the carbon fiber on to get this shape exactly like we want. It's still not perfect. That sticks up a little bit, but we're thinking that when we put the carbon fiber on there, we can kind of stretch it and push it down, hopefully. If not, I can come in here with a razor blade and fix that if I have to. So anyway, that's the next step that we're going to do is we're going to cover all of this that you see that's scuffed up. We're going to cover it with epoxy. Where that green line is where the carbon fiber is going to go to. So then we'll have a fender flare that can be attached to a finished version of this fender. Now this fender also had to be cut to allow this area because it would interfere. I would pick it up and show you, but it's gonna mess it up, so I'm not going to. Once we're done and we flip it over, I can show you what we're talking about. But this thing had to be cut to allow these two to go together like they are. All right, that's all I can think of. And I had to put pieces of wood in here to pull things into where I needed them to be. There's little pieces of wood here. I would put a little piece of wood there, but it would be very difficult to do. I do have one. Nope, I overlapped right here. If you see inside there, it's overlapped. That's how those two are tied together. And if I could get to it, I would put a piece of tape on the inside of this, like this is going to be. But again, I can't get to it, and it's not worth messing up all my alignment just to do that. Same thing here, it's slightly off here. Hopefully we can fix that. But even so, with the screws here, this is not going to be perfect. These screws I'm going to have to cut out and remove after the carbon fiber is somewhat solidified. And so the carbon fiber on the top is not going to be the finished version no matter what I do. Now, the other question that came up is, why are you doing this? Why don't you just mold this directly into this fender? Oh, speaking of which, that's what this clear tape is for. This clear tape is to make it to where the flare does not stick to the actual fender itself. There. Now, the reason why we're doing that is because this fender has to be attached to the top piece. And to do that, it has to be aligned in, obviously, 3 directions. That's very difficult to do. So my plan is to take this and put this fender back into the original mold and then make the rest of the fender, the top surround for the hood. Yeah, so the hood surround. See, we're missing everything from here to here right now. We have it in fiberglass, but we don't have it in carbon fiber. So right now we only have the fender up to this peak. We don't have anything past this peak. And we need the whole surround for the hood as well. And we had the mold for that, but it doesn't have the fender flare. Long way to say that when I make this fender flare, Once I remove it, then we can take this fender and stick it back in the original mold and get it all aligned with the other pieces that we still have to make. So that's the plan that we have right now. All right, that's all I've got for now. Like, subscribe, hit the alert, hit the thanks if you want to donate. And if you don't like what we're doing, you don't know Jack. Bye.